Welcome.
An episode of Love,
Law,
and Libations. Cheers. Tonight's cocktail is Cosmopolitan by F and Vodka. These are like pre-made little drinks.
With a little bit of triple sec. It's actually quite tasty. Let us know that F and Vodka, I believe, is 50 Cent. A man who don't drink, but makes a decent cocktail. Mm-hmm. So cheers to you, 50.
Okay. And I am Shade, your host, and this is my lovely co-host,
Shaniqua. Nice to meet y'all.
Yeah, so let's get into it, girl. So basically, we're just going to be talking about dating and just like societal pressures. It's crazy out here nowadays in these streets.
It is.
I think people have crazy ass expectations.
So to narrow it up, I'm in my 40s. My girl here is in her 30s, right? So there are certain things that we wish we knew in our 20s.
Yes.
In the process. So that's what we're discussing today, dating. What the things we wish we knew in our 20s.
Yes.
That we've learned about 15 to 20 years
after the fact. And I think the number one thing I want to start with is like self-love.
Agreed.
Self-love, okay? Because I feel like if you truly love yourself, there's a lot of shit that you would not fucking tolerate.
But if you'll also be able, one is about compromising, but also knowing what you bring to a situation and what you're looking for. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people date to say, this person completes me. Sweetie, you a whole person. You supposed to already be complete.
Exactly. And when I hear people in relationships and they're bragging about their spouse, about their partner, they're always talking about like their accolades. Oh, my spouse does this, that, and the third.
I can confirm when my boo discusses me and brings me up, and I've been introduced to people. They're like, oh my God, the fiance. We heard so much about you. It's always good things, but it's also about the fact that his girl is a lawyer from Brownsville. And that makes him so happy. So he wants everybody else to know that I did what I needed to do.
Right. And so basically I just feel like we need to talk about also these young girls, because no tea, no shade, nothing wrong with Cheesecake Factory, baby.
There's nothing wrong with this. Sometimes you just need some good bread.
Okay, and there's nothing wrong with Waffle House, because I feel like if we wound up at a Waffle House, a time was had. That's how we got there in the first place. We went out, we must have been clubbing, we must have had bottles, we must have had a good time, and now it's like the club is closed right before the sun is about to come up. And I'm getting like an all-star breakfast.
But that brings me to the point of understanding it's not about keeping up with the Joneses and going on these dates to show your girls you went to Ruth Chris, right? Because you went to Ruth Chris with him, but he ain't never call you back. And you thought he was going to be that, right?
Imagine that. Like, imagine, like, I'm not trying to pander to men, but what I'm saying is, like, imagine being a man and you taking a girl out on a date that you don't even fucking know. And you spending $500 on her? Like, is it your birthday? Now, don't get me wrong. Like, when I was in a relationship with my ex-husband, right? Before we even got married, when we were just dating, okay? Like, and it was his birthday. He had spent a lot of money on me, took me out to a lot of nice dinners. So then when it came time for me to reciprocate, I made sure for his birthday, I took him to a Broadway play. I took him to Gallagher Steakhouse. The bill was like $500.
So basically matching, ladies and gentlemen, you want to match your partner. And I want to take it away from the gender of the man and the woman, because keep in mind, it's just your partner. If this is the person that you want to vibe with, this is who you're trying to go through this phase of your life with, match that energy, you know?
And listen, it's different strokes for different folks. There's some women that are comfortable with being with a man and when they are the breadwinner. I'm not comfortable in that situation.
I'm okay with that because I got all these degrees, but the reality is, as we discussed earlier, I love my partner because he's always upgrading himself. Like, it's not just about what he do for me, because I could do for myself. But the reality is that I want to be with him because he inspires me.
Yeah.
Like, he does his own thing. He's an entrepreneur. He knows he got to work 9 to 5. Like, we all have to work 9 to 5, baby. We like expensive things. But you can't let
or
that
some type of job, where it could be entrepreneurship too.
Yes,
you know.
But he also has a job and he's an entrepreneur because he wants to also explore his dreams. So with that being said, while you're dating, don't lose who you are.
Yes.
Don't lose your dreams.
Yeah, and I just feel like, because if you get with the wrong person, some people prioritize dating, and a lot of people are just broken people. And I don't need you rubbing your jagged edges up against me. Like, get that shit filed down. Figure out your own problems before you jump in a relationship.
We are all fucked up. And I like to tell everybody that fuckboys come in any nationality, gender, race, age range. Trust me, there are a lot of 55-year-old fuckboys out there.
Listen.
Okay.
Because they just like
fuck boys, fuck women, fuck everything.
Some people are like just the same. Like they just get older. They don't really change very much. Like mentally, they don't change or grow. But not to get off topic. Like back to the whole like dating situation. I just feel like the whole what do you bring to the table? Listen, don't take it up with me, take it up with God. It's in the Bible. It says men are the providers and women are the nurturers. Like,
but see, that's one thing about societal's expectations, because as you know, us as black women, don't shoot the messenger, but statistically we are the most educated, right? Which means we are bound to be breadwinners. And don't underestimate this woman and look at her like, oh, I can't mess with her. She makes more than me. She could be a bomb-ass hoe. I say that respectfully. Right? She could be so bomb, but you let the fact that she worked really hard because she didn't have any other choice. And so she
call us masculine.
Yes, we have no other choice.
But like, there's nobody paying the rent for me,
baby.
I gotta get up and I gotta go to work. And so when I pay my own bills and I pay my own car note and I pay for all the luxuries that I have in my life, like I have a whole Yorkie like laying right here on the couch. Like, what?
I've got 3 kids. Okay,
so of course, like that, me taking care of myself shouldn't be seen as masculine.
It shouldn't.
And also, men shouldn't be sitting here asking women, "Oh, can you cook? Can you clean? Like, can you cook and clean for yourself?" Because we're all adults here. So
yes.
So if I'm not around, how do you survive? How do you take care of yourself?
You know what? That's wrong, because I have 2 boys. I have a 21-year-old. I have a 16-year-old. They can both cook and clean. They wash their own clothes. They take care of their own bathroom. They clean their own rooms. Because no one should. I'm their mother. Their partner should not be their mother. You should not get with somebody with the expectation that they parent you. You are an adult.
Right. And it's the same thing for women. Like, you shouldn't, like, I mean, me personally, I work. I have a degree. So I don't expect a man to pay my bills for me. But I do expect you to do nice things for me. I do expect you to think of me and treat me nice. Yeah, and I would do the same thing too for you as well. Like, but I do expect you to court me. I do expect you to take me out. I feel like if you're going out on a date, like, I feel like depending on where you live, I feel like, I guess if you're not living in a big city, I feel like you could probably do a date for like max $100. I feel like if you
we live in the tri-state area, baby.
Right,
I'm
in New York.
It's like 200. Wait, it's like on a date with ourselves.
It's like 200.
We took ourselves on a date together. It's just 2 girls having a date.
Yeah,
and we're at 200. We just chilling.
So $500. Like, is it your birthday? I feel like that's kind of crazy. But I feel like if you live in a smaller town, you want a budget, you could probably do a date for $100. If you live in a bigger city or something like that, you probably could do a date for like
also you could
go. That should be the max. Like, I don't know you. I might never speak to you again.
But here's the thing: when you're dating in your 20s, right? Go to where you're a regular. Go where the drinks are cheap, and you can get $5 wings, right? Like 10 wings for $5.
It's pops.
Go, because at the end of the day, you want to get to know this person. Part of dating is to get to know the person, not for a free meal. But if you're hungry, baby, be honest about that.
And
be honest.
You know what's crazy? Like, I actually saw a clip earlier today, and it was like Doechii, and she was performing with Lauryn Hill, and she was singing her hit doo-wop, or That Thing, right?
That thing, that thing, that thing.
That's it, because we not getting sued. We not
also,
paying.
we have good music, okay?
But yeah, I was listening to it, and it made me think, like, you know, in the song, she says, like, you know, guys, you gotta watch out, because some girls are only about that thing. And then she goes on to say, to ladies, you gotta watch out, because some of these guys are about that thing. And so I think that
the question is, what thing are you about? Because a lot of men are about that vagina.
A lot of women is about your pockets.
So I have my own idea that, no offense, men, and if I'm wrong, please come in the comments and confirm. But I don't think y'all like us. I think y'all like our vaginas, but you rather hang with your boys. So if your boys have vaginas, what will be the need for us?
Well, they got the Gucci cat.
The Gucci cat. The Badusi.
Listen, that's a whole other
topic. But that's a whole other topic. We will not
whole
get into
day.
But if you have something to say, we would like your opinion. Don't be disrespectful, because my Brooklyn come out very quick.
Okay.
So be respectful in the comments, people.
But I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, like, you know, people in general take relationships out of it. They're looking for a way to better themselves, like, to, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you see an opportunity for a come up, that's just how humans work, like, naturally. And I feel that when it comes to women, you should watch out, because men want to have sex with you.
But what you should say? You just trying to get in my panties?
Yeah, you don't even like me like that. You just want to touch me where I pee at. I heard a girl say that on the socials. I saw a girl on Instagram say that. She said, "You don't like me, you just want to touch me where I pee at." And that's the truth. And that's the truth. And for men, you have to understand as well. Sometimes women just want you because you got money, or sometimes it could be because you look good.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't realize that men can be used as literally trophies.
Yes,
I have found that out look good over the years,
and then they get women to take care of them.
Listen, I'm not mad about it, but the reality is that be okay with the situation that you're in.
Right, understand it for what it is. Like, don't sit like women ain't shit, niggas ain't shit, and stop. Everybody ain't
she, them, days, hers, them, days, everyone in between.
And they.
And yours.
Okay.
They ain't shit.
So just to be woke, stay woke, and don't get got out here. And a lot of y'all, like I said, like the dating scene is a hot mess because people just, like you said, they got all these expectations. They not being honest.
You have to manage your expectations.
Lying.
In your 20s, I don't expect for you to know what your expectations are, right? Early 20s, I'll put that because for a lot of us, not only early 20s, this is our first time away from mom and dad. Mm-hmm. We go off to college. This is the time for a lot of us realize we may like the same sex.
Okay,
right?
or just having casual sex.
Yes.
Let's talk about that, the casual sex.
Ooh, baby. So I work where I work. I work at a nonprofit that's in public health. Casual sex is dangerous, especially because in your 20s, you're not having those serious conversations. A lot of us don't go, which health was an option. We spoke about health. Mm-hmm. Please. Health is important, especially as a teenager and you're moving into your young adulthood, right? Because you're going from your parents' insurance, your parents take you, definitely not so good to your family doctor about whose dick you just swallowed last week.
Yeah, like just honestly wrap it up. I feel like the AIDS epidemic is like, are we gonna have another one of those? Because I just feel like people. So when we grew up, like we came up off of the heels of like this big boom, this AIDS epidemic.
But there's a big epidemic still in the southern states because they don't discuss it. There's a stigma behind HIV and STDs in general that there shouldn't be.
People are having sex and then getting tested later.
Yeah, or they're not even discussing. I don't give a fuck.
Or sometimes the younger people, because like we in our 30s, right? I'm in your 40s, right?
Yeah, so just turned my 40s, so still room.
Okay, so and they're like, don't crack. But like no lie, like a lot of the young people, they like to have unprotected sex and they get tested often, and then they have like the app. Yeah. Remember back in the day it would show me your papers, but now it's like an app. And so because they have this app and like, look, I'm clean. Yeah. But that was 3 months ago, ma'am. 3 months ago, sir. And how many bodies have you caught since then? And so it's just like people are just having unprotected sex and they just like, I'm sorry, but it's a turn off for me. Like recently, I was out and about in the streets. I was in the streets. I know that I was out and about in the streets. I was in the streets of London, and this man, like on the day one me being in London, wanted me to come back to his hotel with him, and I was just like, that just was a turn off for me. And then, like, another day. So you're at the stage where casual sex, because again, it's weird. I don't know what you got. There's condoms, baby. Yeah, but there's some stuff that don't be protecting you from, you can still get. For those who may be surprised, you can still get warts, you can still get genital herpes, right? Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, your pubic area is more than just your lips and your penis. And who the fuck is actually using dental dams? I want to know. I see condoms. Condoms is everywhere. You can get condoms. I can speak on that. Wait, I can speak on the dental dams. Who's using it? You use it? I'm a bisexual. Right. I'm a bisexual, but yes, dental dams are an option. Do you use dental dams? If I'm messing with somebody and I'm playing with somebody, because I happen to be what you would consider sometimes a swinger, right? But if I'm playing, then yes, because I don't know this person, right? And I want to keep it on the up and up, and I go home. And up until about 10 years ago, my kids used to kiss this face. My youngest is 16, so there's no more kissing, right? But the reality is that I have a partner, and I'm very adamant about it. What does a dental dam look like? So and how do you use it? Is it like saran wrap? Wow! This is helpful. Like saran wrap? This is helpful for my 20-year-old, for me, bitch, I'm 39. All right. So, for my lesbians, please jump into the comments, my lesbians. Okay. And my hello to Quad. But the reality is that dental dam is... Wait, I can't say it. It's LGBTQ. Yeah, let's go. Girl, hey, wait, did you go to Paris? Yeah, I did. I was a tourist, ma'am. The only thing I need to say was... Don't you say Shaniqua? Legitiba Qua.
wrap, but it's like silicone. It's a little thicker. And what it is literally protects your mouth from the vaginal area. Why? Because again, you have syphilis.
Wait, it's like silicone?
It's like silicone. It's like a thin silicone.
Okay.
Very thin. Like similar to the latex made from a condom.
Okay.
But it's not that thick.
Okay.
It's also has various flavors, right?
And it's like a little square?
Yeah, it's literally like a little square. You stick it and you handle your business.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's a protection. So just mind you, contraceptives, including condoms, have been around since like the 1800s. So trust me, they knew there was a way to protect yourself when you play.
Okay.
But I need for you guys to use this because, and don't trust anybody who says, it doesn't feel right, a condom. There's all kinds of
or
condoms
it's too
out
big,
there now.
it can't fit. Baby, stop that line.
Also, most men who tell you, I need a magnum, I have seen it, they don't need a magnum. They don't need a magnum. Stop letting these men lie to
They
you.
also make Magnum extra large in the black pack.
But most men don't need a magnum, that's one. And also keep in mind, your walls, they no, okay? Be mindful.
I've seen a man put his whole fucking arm in a condom, so I don't want to hear it.
That works when you in your 20s, but baby, when you in your 30s, you don't want that. Your snapback's a little different.
Just use condoms, people, because like, let's think about it. Like, imagine talking to somebody, you let them have sex with you raw, and then 3 months later, you don't even fucking talk to them. They're a fucking stranger. They're fucking blocked.
Wait, also,
they're just gone. Imagine that. So just protect yourself. So that's something that
let's also add fuck a STD. One adult transaction, one sexual encounter can result in you birthing a child. And it depends, because baby, if you don't even know that twins run his family, surprise.
Or mental health issues. Or you don't even
genetics. We don't think about this.
You don't even know if he was placed in IP classes and you letting him hit it raw, girl.
I mean, I think we all a little special, but honestly, in your 20s, you're not thinking about the future in that way. And I could say that myself as dating. Listen, I had 2 kids. I had 2 kids in my 20s. I had my first child in early teens, lesson learned, and then I had 2 kids in my 20s. And I tell people this all the time. My oldest 2 did not get the same parent that my youngest child got. I had him at 26. Because who I was in my early 20s is not who I was at 26. Who I was at 26 is not who I was at 36.
Yeah.
And who I was at 36 is not who I am today at almost 42.
Yeah.
I am so proud of the woman I became, but it's also doing that reflection. So yes, please listen. You have your whole life ahead of you, but just keep in mind that the choices you make, dating choices too. Because a lot of us want to get married in our 20s, but you don't even know who you are.
Right. Like, you don't even know who you are as a person. And honestly, in today's society and economy, nobody should be getting married
or having
babies until you at least 30. Period. Because, like, do you see the price of eggs?
Listen, I lived through 3 recessions at this point. 3 of them.
Do you see the price of eggs?
The biggest one was in 2008, and I was out investing in child. Wow, why did I do that?
Girl, I have 3 eggs in my fridge right now, and those are the last 3 eggs I got. So they've been in my fridge for weeks.
So if anybody's
I don't
wondering,
know when I'm gonna get some again.
For $12.99, you get 30 eggs from Acme. I'm just rooting for Acme right now because they're not on the boycott list, and it's like, listen. Get your shit. You gotta get your shit. Acme can be a little expensive, baby. But 30 eggs for $13?
Where they get the chickens in the bag? They got the chickens tied up.
I don't know. So
like, what's going on? How did they get their own chickens in the bag?
I'm assuming that it's very much.
How the fuck did they get 30 eggs for $13?
Acme got their own brand.
And why did you say that out loud? Because now they all gonna go to Acme and ain't gonna be no eggs left.
Well, with that being said, Acme, we could use a sponsorship. Because I do love your cheese, even if it's a little expensive. But I'm just out here looking for everybody's protein.
Listen, at the end of the day, speaking of protein, safe sex, y'all. Safe sex. Don't you swallow that.
I'm about to say at 25.
Don't you swallow that.
Wait, at 25, do you know I had this boy tell me?
No.
He said, oh, you know, sperm is good for dry skin and eczema. I said, you gonna put it on your face? You gonna put it on your face? Attitude change. Don't be recommending some shit you're not finna do.
Girl, period.
Don't do that.
Exactly.
Because if you're not about to have a cum face shoot, do not ask me to have one.
And don't take that man's money if you're not going to give him no coochie.
Don't do that.
Because that's what he wants. That's what these men want. And
let's talk about men and expectations.
That's really why they mad. That's really why they mad.
Well, let's talk about men and
how do I know I'm going to get vagina if I take you on this.
With that being said, let's talk about you managing your expectations in your 20s, right? Like I said, if you're hungry, be honest that you're hungry. Mm-hmm. But please don't ask that man to take you to the roof, Chris, and you're not about to give him no head, nothing. You're not about to give him a hand job. In fact, you don't like that man. If you don't like that man, do not go the roof, Chris, with him, because I don't want to see you on the Dateline episode. Don't do it. Because here's the expectation. You got fed. Now he's expecting to get fed as well. Whether with your coochie or your mouth. He's expecting to get fed. Reverse. Let's say she took you out because she's a cougar. So you want that PlayStation 5? You gotta do something.
What you willing to do?
Change for some change.
What you willing to do? So just
those are the expectations, because everybody has an expectation. But be honest about it. Say, hey, I want to go out on a date, but what do you think we're gonna do after?
Yeah.
So you can at least assess if this man's trying to bed you. Because he said we can go back to my place. And at that point, nip it in the butt if you're not trying to go.
Don't let nobody fucking move in with you unless they are fucking roommate.
No homo sapiens. No homosexuals. So your 20s is the right time, right? And I'm only going to be honest with you because the roommates that I have are my crotch fruit. I made them. I never had a roommate that I did not make.
This is my roommate here. She's a jobless Yorkie.
But
I make her put on these outfits and work.
Snooki is exhausted right now. She put on a photo shoot. She did her job.
Yes, she did. She has a job.
It was expected of her to smile for the cameras, and she did.
Okay, period. She has a job. So don't let nobody come stay with you unless they it's contractual. Do you have your half of the rent?
Also, be respectful. And
don't let no man move.
So the lawyer man is telling you right now, be respectful, because most of us in our 20s have roommates. I don't understand it like I explained. My roommates are my crotch fruit, my broke best friend. So I pay all the rent, right? But when you are living with a roommate, both your names are on the lease. This is the lawyers talking to you now. You're equally responsible.
That's right.
So when your homegirl decides to bring in that unscrupulous character who's now living there, like you see his shit all over the place. He's there all the time, but he's not contributing to the rent. Now you have a problem. And this is how friendships
running up the lights.
But this is how friendships get ruined, because you let this man move in because I love him, blah 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 blah. You just met him.
What is love?
This was your college friend. Y'all been friends for 5-6 years. So now your friendship is ruined because you let Mr. Homosexual, because you the third bitch he done lived with this season alone.
Girl.
Now you ruined the friendship and he done moved on to the next bitch while you 3 months behind the rent. See? So
I think it all boils down to baby to self-love. Like I said in the beginning, when you love yourself, there's certain shit that you won't fucking tolerate. And that's why you need to be the number one love of your life. When you are the love of your life, you're going to take care of yourself. You're going to exercise. You're going to eat healthy. You're going to do your hair. You're going to do your nails.
Your grooming's going to be the way that you
yourself. Even if you do it yourself. Okay, hair done by me. Nails done by me.
Listen,
whatever. But I'm going to make sure I take care of myself and I look presentable. And you just won't tolerate certain things. When you see a person is treating you how you don't treat yourself.
And don't tolerate someone gaslighting you, because listen, the 20s is the period of time where you definitely get gaslit. You get gaslit by your friends. You get gaslit by society. You get gaslit by your parents. I'm assuming a bunch of you have heard, well, if you just settle down with a nice boy or girl, right? Who's this nice boy or girl, Mom? Who's this nice person? Because a lot of us, listen, I've had my dad straight through my life, through my formidable years. The last time my dad, he went about his business, because all of us have parents who can't necessarily parent you. So I went from 13 to about 17 without my dad. But I had him in formidable years, which allowed me to realize that, listen, some of these men ain't shit. And you see, I didn't say niggas, I said men, right? Because at the end of the day, they are going by what they are taught. And it's a toxic masculinity that we all have to be mindful of. And I'm not trying to get on the men.
And women too. Women too.
There's
women
a toxic,
do have this, like...
There's a toxic femininity about it all, where you expect your man to be that provider. But you also expect for him to understand and read your thoughts. Like, just read your mind. And at 25, baby, you have to understand.
You don't even know who you are.
No. And also, people can't read minds. Ain't none of us are X-Men. Speak what you need in your life. You have to, and a lot of us don't realize that our voice has power until well into our 30s.
Sometimes you only figure out who the fuck you are when you're alone. Like,
embrace being alone
and liking your own fucking company. Because let's be real, a lot of us do stuff out of boredom.
Date yourself. Go on dates by yourself, and you will be surprised. Go places by yourself. And a lot of us like, I don't want to go. You can't. I've gone on dates by myself. I did tourist things by myself.
Hang out with your friends, find hobbies, do stuff. Like, when you understand that when you stand 10 toes down, like, your 10 toes will not be in the air. Understand that they're like your phone finna be dry.
Wait, but without saying the best way to get over somebody is to get underneath them, I don't agree with that anymore. Because getting underneath somebody else is literally a rebound, and rebounds are not what you think it is. And I'm sorry, I know there's a bunch of y'all in there be like, oh, I found my husband from a rebound. Did you really? Or was it that you finally opened up to who you really was and you allowed this person to come in at the time that they needed to come in?
What's that lady on social media and she be like, if you haven't met his family, you're a placeholder. If you did it,
facts.
He don't like you.
His mom.
If he he don't like you. Just understand, like, know who the fuck you are, love yourself, value yourself,
and let people show you who they are. You really
and believe that.
Yes, manage your expectations. Because a lot of people will show you who the fuck they are. But in your head, your expectations
you're ignoring red flags.
Yes, you are.
On purpose.
Or you see potential. And baby, potential doesn't work because potential is unfulfilled unless they see it, right? So you see the potential
is for people in their 20s. Once you turn 30, there's no potential.
Enjoy the potential you have in your 20s, right? Because that's the thing. Once you hit your 30s, that potential is unfulfilled.
When you in your 30s and 40s, baby, you should have figured it out. I might give you to your early 30s. But at that point, if you're not at the destination yet, you should be en route. I should see actual hard, concrete examples. For example, I love Summer Walker, right? I love her album, her first album.
Yes.
Over It, right? And I listen to every single song on that album. There's no skips, but except the song Potential. That is a song I would skip every time. You got potential. No. I think potential at my big ass age, I don't believe in that.
So I think potential is a personal thing. So when you look at somebody like, oh, I'm with him because he has potential.
How old are you?
But does he see that potential? That's the big thing that I've realized. Like, unfulfilled potential ends up being regret and resentment. And let me explain to you how that ends up happening. Right?
That's a bar.
Now, here's the thing. I was with somebody straight through my 20s. I met this person around 21, 22, straight through my 20s into my early 30s, literally. I grew up with this person to come realize that at the end of the day, we was in competition with each other. I'm not going to say he didn't like me, but I also realized there was potential in both of us that was unfulfilled, and that created resentment.
Yeah.
Like, it's the idea of what we saw each of us becoming that we didn't fulfill that expectation. He had expectations of me. I had expectations of him. Me being in my 20s, I didn't understand how to communicate that. And it wasn't until I hit my 30s and got empowered and realized, hold up. I love the bitch I'm becoming. I'm doing things. Mm-hmm. I'm pursuing the things that I'm passionate about. I'm in law school at this point. And while I thank this person because this person was instrumental in me growing and becoming the woman I am today, that was what their purpose was. And it wasn't until I got to my 30s to realize all that we went through, the good and the bad, was to help me become the person I am today. And prepare me for the partner I have today because we're able to have that communication. So don't think that your 20s is your end all to be all because that's just the start of your life.
And so that's why I said, like, make better choices. Like, because at the end of the day, like, there's this whole, like, remember back in the 20-teens, we used to say, like, YOLO? We used to say YOLO.
You only live once, and you do. But
don't do stupid shit because like literally you only live once. People would always say YOLO and then like do the dumbest shit ever.
But the idea behind YOLO when you're in your 20s, right, is like, oh, I don't give a fuck. But the idea is that you only live once is that you want to live a life that when you're in your 80s, you don't have any regret.
Yeah, if you
that you look back and be like, I wouldn't do anything different because it made me who I am today.
Like if you want to like take risks, like go on that trip. Like start that
business. Get that degree, baby.
Take those kind of risks. Like when it comes to your,
but don't do shit like somebody else.
When it comes to your health, when it comes to your mental stability, when it comes to your youth, your prime years, don't waste that on no relationship. Like just like live your life. Like you know what I mean. Like if the person is matching your frequency, matching your vibe. And like y'all are growing together and like building something, then great. But if they're draining you, get the fuck out.
And this is not to take away from those who have their religious and traditional ideals. Like that's for you. But keep in mind, when you have those religious and traditional ideals and you're going out here with Jamal, who grew up with a mama like me, or like mine, those traditional values are going to set you up for failure because he's never going to live up to the expectations that you had based on how you were bred and born. Like honestly,
and people don't talk about that enough. Like honestly and truthfully, I have a friend and she would just tell me like she would really ask questions about like how the person was like raised.
Yes.
And she mentioned that like there was this guy, he was like good looking, he was cool, but like his mom and his dad never got married. They had an off and on relationship. It was kind of toxic. So then this is what he thinks is
it's
love.
normal.
So you're like, you can't be from the suburbs
with parents that spent 30 years together.
Right. And
Plus.
then you dating a project dude and you hoping and praying that he gonna be something that he doesn't even know, like never seen an example of.
For example,
seen an example of marriage.
I'm not bad mouthing because I grew up in the projects, but I don't like the fact that a lot of us as black women king our sons very early on to make them heads of households and responsible for things that's not their job. Like you'll sit there and a lot of black women will have sons. It was like, you gotta go out there and be the man of the house. That's not his job, ma'am. And so you turn around and you never teach him how to treat a woman properly because you out there and you make him go out there and be the man in the house, which at this case, he's 14 years old. All he can do is sell drugs. What do you want the baby to do? But with that being said, you can't expect someone to come into a relationship and expect a loving partner when he doesn't understand how to be loving or a partner.
And then how you expect to communicate and have a conversation with somebody. I'm going to say it again, like I said it a few minutes ago. Do you know if this man was in an IEP? Does he know if
we all a little special.
Did he take remedial math? Like you might be expecting something from your partner that they cannot give you because they don't have the mental capacity. They don't have the emotional capacity. They have seen toxic relationships. That's all they know. That's all they know. It's like yelling and cussing and screaming and fighting and acting.
Well, the same thing said, do not go out there and get that person whose parents have been in a loving relationship for 45 years and are partners and everything they do, and you've never seen one. And then expect for this person to accommodate you. That's wrong because to them, they're looking at somebody who's going to go this road to them, and you're like, well, I cheated on you, you still stayed. Because I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of people think like that. If you stay with somebody after they've cheated on you, that level of respect is never going to return. I don't care what they tell you. Please love yourself more because if that person was able to disrespect you and you stayed, whatever respect they had beforehand will never be returned. Never. There's no way around it.
And let me add to that. A lot of y'all are running around here with products of a woman's lack of self-respect. A lot of people,
that's a word. That's a word.
Lot of people would not even exist if they mamas had self-fucking-respect. If your mama has self-respect for herself, and you over here crying over some man, or you crying over some girl, or they, or whoever, you crying over somebody, and they are literally a product of their parents not having self-fucking-respect, because they should have walked away. And you crying over some nigga in remedial math.
I don't want to hear, well,
crying.
My dad cheated on my mom and she stayed. I need for y'all to understand, we heard that a lot, and that's not love. A lot of people stayed in relationships, they had no other options, and that turns into resentment, and you don't want to spend your 20s and your 30s resenting the person that you thought was going to be your partner through life.
Can I say one thing, though? This is a little off topic, but it's got to do with love and dating. Mm-hmm. Anybody watching this Chloe Bailey and Burna Boy fiasco? It started in Ducky December.
But I'm also paying attention to the sister though, because let's talk about how.
Wait. One thing at a time. Stay
you're right.
Stay to the ADD.
It is. We all a little special, but my nigga loves touch.
We all a little touch, but stay focused, one sister at a time. So this whole Burna Boy and Chloe Bailey situation. Now he's Nigerian.
Okay.
And I'm actually on the hunt for a nice African man.
I got a Haitian, so I can't say nothing.
I don't know why, but I woke up and I chose violence. But anyway, I am excited to see the new Chloe. However this relationship pans out, I feel like this girl can sing. She is talented, but I need her to go through a little character development. I feel like
you feel like a troubled relationship or
might be good for her music career. Yes, I feel like
and personal development. Let's be real.
If she gets her heart broken by Burna Boy, I feel like we're gonna get a golden album out of it. Do you not see? I mentioned Summer Walker earlier. Summer Walker, like when she came out with that "I Want to Start with Your Mama," she should have whooped your ass. Period. I need that from Chloe because Chloe can sing. She can do more than sing. She can sing. Her and her sister. Act. Right? Okay, but my thing is this. I just the same way Burna Boy broke up with Stefflon Don and he came out with Last, Now everybody go draw breakfast. That's his biggest fucking hit because he had his heart broken. I just want to see the character. Not that I'm saying I want her to get heartbroken, but I'm just saying he's a Yoruba boy. He is a Yoruba boy. He's going to break your fucking heart. Okay? Just know that. But I still want one. I woke up. I'm choosing violence. It's okay. But all I know is, homegirl, I want to hear that album. When this relationship is said and done, I want to hear that album.
So I will say that I agree, but I think your 20s is the time for you to build your villain origin story. No, I'm dead ass.
Make mistakes.
That's what it is. That's what I'm saying.
You have to.
But not life-altering mistakes.
Yes, thank you.
And so I'm not trying to say my kids are a mistake, but what I will say is this. Someone asked me the other day, in fact, my boo asked me, my fiance asked me the other day, we were having a conversation, and I was completely honest in that I wouldn't change being a young mom because that put a fire in me. And I honestly told him, I said, listen, if I have kids young, I'll be completely honest with you, I will be a kept woman. I'm so smart and somebody of some, I am eye candy, arm candy, and I'm smart. I would be a kept woman, but would I be satisfied and happy? Absolutely not. What I am happy about is because I have these degrees and can't nobody tell me shit. Nothing. Ever. Did I earn it? I earned every bit of this. And that's why I know for a fact that if I was this at 20s, I would have never found a man. Because they would have just like, look at this masculine bitch. And all of that. And that's unfortunate. So again, I'm glad that I was able to go through and live that trial of tribulations through my 20s to help me build who I am in my 30s and 40s. So I believe that your 20s is the time for you to build your villain origin story and become who you are meant to be. And make these mistakes, but not life-altering mistakes.
You have to.
You don't want to end up in jail. You don't want to end up married to a man who's going to really ruin everything. I don't want to see none of y'all on Snap, on Dateline. Yeah. I don't want to see that.
The purpose is to live and to learn, but like don't let life like smack the shit out you at the same time. So it's just like when it comes to dating, like just be easy and have fun. You know what I mean?
And don't believe these men. You can do whatever you want through your 20s. You can do whatever you want through your 20s. Do not believe these men about the way going to want you when you're over 30 and no kids. Don't believe that.
Also, you're not attractive.
There's also those men who be in their 50s, so I'm ready to settle down. Sir, you ready to settle down and have children with a woman in her 30s. You're going to be 67 years old walking your child across that stage. And that's not right.
You looking for a hospice wife. Stop.
That's not right. Don't do that. Don't sit around here. Make your mistakes in your 20s, but be prepared to buckle down and be an adult in your 30s. Because you done lived some trials and tribulations. You done learned some things at this point. You learned what you like, what you don't like. You learned what you're willing to compromise on, what you're not willing to compromise on, what you would consider luxury because those things change. It might be luxury now because you go buy you a Stella Artois, right? Yeah. Mind you, luxury for me is just being able to work from home in my pajamas and make $300 from sitting in the brief. That's luxury to me. I can watch TV all day and I could go business class when we go on vacation. That's what we spend money on now. Like, it's all right in your 20s to fly Spirit, but once you hit 30, 40, you want some leg room. Like, honestly, your dynamic changes, but you gotta have those experiences.
I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. It starts with loving yourself, because if you don't love yourself, then how in the hell can you even give instructions to someone on the proper way to love you?
RuPaul said it best, baby. Mm-hmm. How the fuck you gonna love somebody else? You gotta love yourself.
Exactly.
How you gonna love somebody else?
You have to love you first. You have to treat yourself a certain way. You have to show up for yourself. You gotta get up, go out there, exercise, eat healthy, like travel, have experiences like in life.
And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, them, they. Love yourself. Mm-hmm. Learn what you like. If for luxury for you is to sit in Barnes and Nobles and have you a venti Starbucks while reading a bestseller, that's you. That's what you like to do. That makes you happy. That centers you. Do that. Do not be up in Webster Hall and you don't even like house music.
Wait, this Webster Hall still open?
It is. Still has Webster
Hall.
Girl,
I had a time.
Yeah, yes. It's still open. It's just not what we knew. You know,
right, but man, I had a time. They got like 3 levels. They give out coins for the little drinks. Girl, anyway.
But I was thinking about that. I was thinking about clubbing in our 20s was very different than the clubbing in our 20s now.
Oh, now I need a section.
Yeah,
it has to be someone's like birthday or something, like, because I'm just tired. I need to sit down. When my song come on, I'm gonna turn up and I'm
But in your 20s, you'll stand on the line and you'll dance all day with your 1 drink, maybe 2 or 3. It depends, right? But you'll learn what you can tolerate. like I quickly learned, I don't like to stand on lines.
Yeah.
So in my 30s, there's no more standing on
In
lines.
the cheap ass shoes I used to fucking wear and stand up all night and not have no fucking section. The cheap ass shoes.
The idea that as you get older,
You talking about
quality matters more than quantity.
You talking about
matters.
$5, $10, $20 max pair of shoes, and I'm standing all night. All night. That's why my ass is in
I
flat
commend
now.
you, young ones. And I'm saying that with the utmost respect because you're like this old bitch. You can say what you want to say. But baby, I literally walk around in sneakers all day.
And that's why my ass
I'm
is
not
flats
built.
right now.
Because
in
I
fucking
spent
flats.
20s. I spent my 20s in shoes I should not have spent my 20s in. If we could give you a word of advice, these are your only feet. You can't trade them out like a Barbie doll.
Mm-hmm.
We aren't Bratz dolls. So please take care of your feet, girl.
Love yourself.
That includes loving your feet.
Okay.
Loving your feet. And also, alternate. I'm giving this to y'all out of the love because, listen, we've been drunk out here in these streets plenty of times. Alternate. Drink a drink, have some water. Drink a drink, have some water. I know I have been.
In your 20s, you don't feel that shit. In your 20s, they don't feel it. I didn't feel that.
In my 20s, I didn't feel it, but in my 30s, I'm like, I really.
But you will when you get our age.
And just be prepared for all my 20 girlies that once you break that seal, it's right. Just stay by the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Once you break that seal, just stay by the bathroom.
Yeah.
On the date too. Just be mindful.
Yeah.
But honestly, as you guys get through this with the dating, keep in mind that in your 20s, dating is just finding out what you like, what you don't like. It's not that serious. This is not the time to make life altering.
Don't make life altering. Don't get pregnant.
Because who you are at 21
don't get nobody pregnant.
Not because who you are at 21 is not who you are at 26, and who you are at 26 is not who you're going to be at 30.
Not in today's economy.
Not in today's world, period. Don't listen to society's expectations because society is fucked. Just as a reminder before y'all run around here, America is a third world country in a Gucci belt and Gucci slides. Just like most of these homosexuals, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm. Don't let it deceive you.
No.
And also, I think that I'll say this and then we can wrap it up. Like, if you could add whatever you have to add to it.
I think I just said enough.
No, I just feel like, you know what? At my age, I just feel like also, like, you know, when you're in your 20s, date for looks. Date the person who is hot, who has the six-pack, who is 6 foot something.
But also makes you laugh.
But once you get to like your 30s and stuff like that, you can't be dating for looks. Like you talking about, oh, he's cute, I love him.
He's
He's
no
walking,
cute, baby.
He's walking. He has no car. He's poor. I see poverty. You see cute, I see poverty. Like Shira 7 said. Okay. Now I'm not trying to tell you to get your sprinkle on. It's a very her ministry is for a very select
But date
few.
somebody that matches your vibe.
Yeah.
Like
Like
somebody that matches your ambition.
no, but I'm saying you can be shallow and have fun.
But you can also be shallow, find
older-
somebody else equally shallow is what I'm saying. Find somebody that matches you. The thing I'm saying is, as you get through this, don't find somebody purposely and say, I like their ambition, and your whole goal is to stifle that ambition because you don't want to better yourself. Know yourself, love yourself, and don't be out here trying to scoop up somebody to take their aura. Because that's a big thing. Like somebody will see somebody and be like, oh. And I've heard this.
Suck the life out of you.
There are people that will suck the life out of you. And you got to know and love yourself enough to say, I deserve better than that. Mm-hmm. Because they're not going to stop sucking the life out of you until you're empty.
That's right. Take is going to take and give is going to
What you like to say? You can't pour from an empty cup.
Okay. And that's on that. And that was an episode of Love, Law, and Libations.
Come back next time, and we're going to be discussing a whole bunch of other shit.
Okay, you have to take a sip. It's bad luck.
Oh.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.